start us off. Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's Doctor Review stream. And we're reviewing the I'm just going to call it the Tsuranga Conundrum. I mean, hey, it's a weather episode. So I'm just going to call it that because I cannot pronounce it. Anyway, so Ben is thinks he's going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. So making her debut is another good friend of mine, Chloe Hickson. So welcome to the show, Chloe.
Thank you, William.
Yep. So as I said, we're reviewing the I'm just not going to bother with it. The something conundrum. So we already have one viewer on YouTube. So let's see who's watching on YouTube. Right. So yep. Let's see who's watching. Who's watching it? Okay. No one in the chat yet. So, but we'll see. There's still time. Right. So, so the episode began with the Doctor, Graham, Ryan, and Yaz landing on. Oh no! Actually, I've just remembered how the episode started. It's going wrong already. Way. Okay. Anyway, so the episode begins on after the titles. We don't have a pre-credit scene, which is a shame because I really love those openings. And then, then you get the theme and it really gets you excited. But anyway, I won't ramble on about that. So it starts off on this junk planet, which immediately I was sent back to 2011 when the Doctor's wife, that was one of the first bits when the concept of a junk planet was introduced. A bit of the Doctor's wife and a bit of Wally. So so the Doctor, Graham, Ryan, and Yaz land on this junk planet, and they find lots of junk from space and time. And they find a sonic mine. And the Doctor presses it, and it explodes, as you expect, because it's a sonic bomb. So, yep. So the Doctor and her friends end up being on this hospital, which is a ship. I wonder how that sounds so familiar. A hospital on the ship. I'm talking World Enough in Time. I'm looking at you, and the Doctor falls. So anyway, enough looking towards the past. So back to the present. Yep. Well, Doctor is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, yes, as I said, they arrive on this hospital on this ship, and they're injured from the mine. That they haven't got any scars or anything, but remarkably, the Doctor does seem to be struggling, and I would have thought it would have caused her to regenerate, but no, it appears not. Oh, there's another viewer.
Bother me. Not the regeneration. I love Jodie's daughter more. Anyway, I know.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that one, it was the Doctor apparently more than her companions who are human.
Yeah.
And two, the way how she reacts to the staff is just out of character for her, Doctor. It really did bother me. It was weird.
Well, yeah, but the Doctor never likes being in stranded, does he/she? The Doctor always wants to travel around. Oh, hello to my good friend Ben, who does the football streams, and me and him will be doing a show after the Manchester derby between City and United. So if you're interested in that, that's on my YouTube channel tomorrow. Sorry to get off the subject, but I just thought Ben was watching, so I thought I'd give him a quick hello to him. Right, yeah. Yeah, I think it 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 was unique, wasn't it? How she reacted to, but actually, I thought it was in character of the Doctor because the Doctor never liked being stranded. You know, John Pertwee's Doctor never liked being stranded on 20th century Earth, being exiled, and the the Doctor never likes being stuck in a place. Always wants to keep moving. So.
Oh no, I get that. But, I mean, it might just be like she was afraid that she was stuck in one place or something, or
Yeah, I think that's actually one of the Doctor's fears. I think as a character, always he slash she has been afraid of being stuck in one place. I think that's definitely one of the Doctor's of fears. So do you want to continue what happens next in the story?
I really can't.
Ah, okay. Right. So, well, what have you written down on your notes?
Give it a second to please start. Oh dear.
Well, at least you're not ending up nearly rolling on the floor like I did last week.
Time it might come. Well, I just basically went on to explain how the episode is weird and random. That's the best way I could explain it.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Feeling of it. What we like I said before we went live, from the previous ones in the series, or season, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They were quite strong. And then we got this episode, and it's not hit rock bottom, because there's some good elements, but yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'll agree. It is a weak episode, and the Pating is possibly a villain that I think is going to be the Jar Jar Binks of Doctor Who. You know, he is going to be hated, I think, by a lot of people. But a lot of people will like the cuteness factor. But I don't want a villain that's cute. I want a villain that's menacing and that you can take seriously. A perfect villain should be able to handle comedy, but also be serious. That is a perfect villain. This one was just for comedy purposes, and I was talking to Ben after the episode when he called me and rung me up, and he agreed as well. So yeah.
What they were trying to convey is the saying of "don't judge a book by its cover." So it can look like really, really adorable and cute, like it probably does, and then just be completely menacing in its nature.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to say, but the idea, in my personal humble opinion,
Yeah.
It was quite bad, but yeah, I do get that part of it. It was just
yeah. And so yeah, basically this episode it is very weird. One of the characters is he's male, but he's pregnant because apparently from his planet the men when they have babies, if it's a boy, it's a man. If it's a girl, it's a girl. So yeah, it's very very different.
About that though, and I don't mean this how it comes out, but who in that species does it impregnating? With doing it, I don't need to ask that question.
I think Chibnall just wanted to, do something weird and yeah. Yes, Chris Chibnall is once again for the 5th episode running on the writing credits. Yeah, please have a break, Chris. Please just go on the beach and have a break and let the other writers deal with it. So, yeah. Right, so, yes. So, the guest stars particularly really stand out. Like the other episodes, I think we have had some really good guest stars. I mean, the main cast is brilliant, but the guest stars have put in some really, really good performances. So, yeah. And so we have Suzanne Packer, who has been in Casualty. We have Ben Bailey Smith, who is also known as Doc Brown, which I don't know why he was not credited Doc Brown, because that is his stage name. So I really don't know why he wasn't credited as that in the credits, but of course that doesn't matter. And we had Brett Goldstein in Astos. Astos is one of the medics that helps the Doctor. So, yeah, they arrive on this ship, and the Doctor realizes, yeah, I've remembered that something is wrong. Something is going on that it shouldn't. And, of course, even though the Doctor is injured, she still wants to find out the source of the problem, as the Doctor does. So she goes and scans the ship to see what's happening, and we see that this weird creature called the well, I do remember it. It's just I don't have very nice words for it. It's more like the bleep ting for me, because I just can't stand the little guy. Anyway, yeah, they face with, oh, I'm going to need some strong drink after this, the pitting.
Well, in fairness, mate, it's like a microwave. After it's done, it goes to pink.
Hey, that was good.
I go out and go.
Yeah, I usually start with a joke, but for once I can't actually think of some. But there's still time, because we're here until 9:30. So yeah. So yeah. So Astos and Mably, I think.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't.
Why do they have names that you just can't pronounce?
Yeah, I really don't know why. As if the episode title isn't enough. So yeah, so I have to say that the guest stars really do take the performances of this episode. Jodie Whittaker, of course, does, but particularly Loris Chimimba, who plays Mabil, Brett Goldstein, even though it was brief, as Astos, and Suzanne Packer as Eve Casero, who was the scientist. And oh yeah, and she was a pilot, and she apparently fought in a very, very big battle. So yeah, and she suffers of this disease called pilot's heart, which I believe is sort of, well, I'd imagine it's the sort of space. Oh, okay. I've got it here. So pilot's heart was a disease common among pilots in the 67th century. It primarily caused heart failure when under stress due to adrenaline building up in the heart, hence its name. The only way to prevent it was constant injections of adrenaline blockers, though no one had to increase how many they took the longer they had the disease. And
I think they should have explained it more in the actual show, because I had no idea what when it was in the show.
Well, no, because they didn't want to block it. Oh, and Corden fever. So if you don't like James Corden, then that's the disease you get. Oh God. Right. So yeah, let me get some more about it, because I've forgotten a bit about the episode. Can you remember any more of it? Okay.
The problem is, I just didn't connect with this episode that much, so my mind sort of shut off.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
It's like when I had my second viewing of that, I did actually fall asleep.
Okay. All right. So there's some more here on Wikipedia, even though it's not. Obviously, Wikipedia can be. What was that?
What noise was it? Was it like a jingle?
Yeah, I think.
That was my necklace. In the laptop.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll put it down my top just a second.
Okay.
Never
mind. Okay. Oh yeah. So okay. Helped by Mabil, Aftof's colleague, the Doctor learns the entity is the Pting, a creature that eats non-organic material and is classed as highly dangerous. Learning that the ship will be remotely detonated if the space station detects the creature aboard. The Doctor works to prevent this happening, while Yasmin and Ronan defend the ship's power source from the Pting. Ryan and Graham offer to help Mabil with Yoth. Yoth is the pregnant man. So yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, okay. Ryan and Graham offer to help Mabil with Yoth as he enters Labour, not the Conservatives. That's just a little political joke. Okay, meanwhile, the Doctor, Eve, and Dukas focus on gaining manual control of the ship. During this time, the Doctor learns that Eve has a critical heart condition that could kill her if she interfaces with the ship. Despite this, Eve sacrifices herself to protect everyone aboard the ship by keeping it safe, before Dukas assumes control in her place. The Doctor suddenly deduces the Pting was attracted to the ship, looking for energy sources, its true food source. With this knowledge, she returns to the ship's power source when she rationalizes it as a built-in fail-safe bomb. Removing it, she primes the device and feeds it to the Pting, giving it ample energy before she jets it into space. Dukas safely brings the Tsuranga. I think that's what it is, but the Tsuranga Conundrum. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds right. To the space station, while Ryan and Graham help Yoth produce a healthy baby. Before leaving to recover TARDIS with the others, the Doctor joins Mabil and the patients in honouring the death of Eve for her courage in protecting them. Yes, that for me was the best moment. Because it was such a comical episode, that was the best part of it. The really emotional thing. Eve willing to save everyone who were practically strangers, but that was really powerful, I think, when she sacrificed herself.
The stewardess, I would like to say, from Midnight, because that's another reason why I love that episode in question, because
it is a good episode. I like it because it has less Catherine Tate in it.
It's not the dots that save the people, it's just someone who we've only just been introduced to, and I think sometimes that could make an episode.
Yeah, Midnight is probably, along with The Stolen Earth and Journey's End, they're probably one of the 3 best stories in series 4. Midnight. That was a really good episode, and yeah, I can see this. This does have similar feelings to it. So the Pting was created and named by writer Tim Price, who worked in the story room early in the series development. So I'm guessing Tim Price was one of the let me see if I can find a bit more about him. Because yeah, Tim Price. Maybe he was on. Oh yeah, it does. It looks like Stitch. It has the attributes of Stitch.
I think maybe that's why I couldn't take the thing seriously, and the fact that when it ate the bomb, that it just reminded me of the Ready-Back advertisements. You know, when the kid eats the Ready-Back and then its chest glows.
Oh, okay. So Tim Price worked in the writer's room early in Series 11's development. The team loved the brilliant and unusual name devised by Price and kept it for the episode. In the long run, he was available to work on the series, and he was credited for being the character's creator. Yeah, I was a little confused that usually you don't see a particular writer's credit for a monster unless it's a classic monster. But in this case, Tim obviously couldn't work and on the series full time, and yeah, and apparently he's a playwright and he's a screenwriter, and he's worked on EastEnders, Holby City, Casualty, Doctors, so lots of things. And yeah, maybe he'll be available for next series, maybe, as long as he doesn't create a silly thing like that. But yeah, but maybe well, if it gives us a break from Chibnall, so yeah, who knows? But so we'll see.
Something that's annoying me about the recent villains that we've gotten is that they've all escaped, if you know what I mean. Some obviously in the other cities, like you get killed and whatnot, but these ones are all open up for returns, and I'm just thinking, is there a reason for that, or are you just purposely annoying us?
Wait, so say again, sorry.
Right, you know how like in past series, like we have had the villains like be killed or be put in prison or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Well, in this series, all the villains that we've had have just escaped.
Yes, they haven't died, have they?
No, they haven't died. They haven't been sent away, particularly. I mean, Badcock, or however how you pronounce his name, I think that's how you do it. But yeah, I mean, he got sent back in the past, but that is it. So all the villains that we've had now is open for comebacks.
Yeah, and also, yeah, because we heard about the Stenza who were in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, and they were mentioned in The Ghost Monument. And actually, Ben thought it would come back, the Stenza, and credit to him, because I thought, no, I think that's just a one-off alien, mate. But no, and when it was mentioned, I was like, gosh, he was right. Has he been working on the series? Does he know something I don't know? But yeah, yeah. So
been turned into this like warrior race that we should be aware of, like the Daleks, for instance. And
yeah. Now the Stenza, I would be open for the Stenza to come back.
Yeah, I mean they need to explain like how they work properly, because with I know it's not his real name, but with Tim Shaw.
Tim Shaw, yeah, that was. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because he was also cheating at the time. We don't really know what the hiding for cheating. What they do properly, because obviously he was cheating. So it's like, should we actually be scared of these things like the Daleks, or how what's the threat rate of these things?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm quite. It's a mixed bag of how I'm feeling with sends out. I'm like 50% like them, 50% hate them, and it's like maybe like just show me something that's proper of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get you, and I obviously hope that Chibnall does kill some aliens because you know that he'll be accused of not being ruthless like Moffat. You know, I wish he did kill Bill. You know, to have her as a Cyberman and then for her to heroically sacrifice herself for the Doctor.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted, but no, he once again undid. Moffat seemed to be really good. Like, for example, Clara's death in Face the Raven, and he basically undid all that great work. Really.
Yeah, I mean, I like that she came back to my favorite companion, but I also kind of hated it because it's like, well, why did you just do that if you're gonna do that? I'm sorry, like, princess, baby, no. Sorry, she wants to go in.
No, that's okay. Doing an Alfred Hitchcock making a cameo.
It's not your moment of fame.
Hogging the spotlight. So yeah, this episode, yeah, it's definitely weird. It is the weakest out of all the episodes, I think. But the positive of it is it doesn't seem rushed. Lots of the other episodes, and Ben agreed with me, they did seem very rushed and wrapped up very, very quickly. This one didn't. And it was just a shame that, for me, that because this wasn't rushed, that it wasn't a particularly great episode. So, but I'm hoping for the series onwards, I'm hoping the stories don't feel rushed, and I'm hoping that it's a good series. So, yeah. One thing I do love is Sagan Akinola, who is the new composer. I love his score. It gets the balance right. It gets you in the mood of the episode. It's when it needs to be sad and emotional, it does. When it needs to be happy and comical, it does. He gets the balance absolutely spot on. Then, like I said, it's tough following in the footsteps of Murray Gold and the classic series' composer Dudley Simpson, stepping into those giant shoes of those two.
I prefer Murray Gold personally because. To me, anyway, it just what we've had compared to Murray Gold, it just some of the tracks are good. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Some of them just like I don't know how the right way to explain it. They just like to me anyway. I don't know, obviously, because you got different views and everything, and I totally respect them.
Yep.
Yeah, it just to me, it doesn't get me in the. Like, that's the weird thing to be having that music, if you know what I mean.
Ah, yeah.
Not like that sort of thing I'm trying to say, but it didn't come out how I wanted it to.
Yeah, it's okay. I get you. Yeah, but I think that Akinola he's getting the balance just right, and I think the music that we've had for the series so far is just I think it's just been absolutely brilliant. So once again, writing this episode for the 5th episode running is Chris Chibnall. Now, look, it was okay. Chris, for the first 2 episodes, that was good. Then I was hoping, okay, Chris, you've written the first 2 episodes, come back for the 5th and 6th, and then come back for the series finale. But that's 5 episodes on the bounce. That's too much, that is. And the thing that obviously concerns me, I don't think Chris has any confidence in any of the other writers, does he?
No, even do I. But something that really bothers me about Chibnall, and I don't mean that out of context, that sounds a bit bash. It's like how he ends scenes and how he ends actual episodes. They just feel like they seem to come to a complete stop out of nowhere. I don't know if that's
yeah.
Some scenes are just like, what the hell? Was there something next, or do you know what I mean?
They are very abrupt, aren't they? Obviously, I know Chris is the showrunner, but Moffat didn't write this much. He certainly didn't write 5 on the bounce.
It's really actually, well, it's concerning me because of how, it's going to sound quite, but how Moffat started to lose his episodes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So much food, at the end of his
tenure.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but it wouldn't come out of my mouth.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that's what I was trying to say, and yeah, it is actually concerning me that Chibnall's doing it right from the start.
Yes.
Thank you to him for getting Jodie and everything.
Yeah, and for running for basically running the whole series, but you've got to take a step back. Obviously, tell the writers, give them an idea what the characters are, but certainly don't write 5 episodes on the on the bang, on the bounce. That was it. 5 episodes on the bang.
I think people know what you mean, mate.
Yeah, I just lost my words then.
But I'm saying it as this don't make me sound bad, but I'm saying it as a writer, because I like myself, and putting too much strain on yourself like that is not good for your actual writing.
Yes.
Fall flat on its face.
Yeah.
And that's not good for your audience, because that's how you're gonna lose people who you've actually gained because of the fans who've now stopped because of the female doctor, which I'm not going to go too much into that.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does get weird to me. I don't mean to say it like that, but that's the best way to describe it with me. Okay.
So next, of course, is we'll do a little preview of it. This Sunday's is Demons of the Punjab, and again, this could be a very controversial story. It's dealing with the partition of India of 1947. Now, I don't know much about this, so it'll be an interesting watch. And I think that's what's great, because the Rosa Parks, I'd never heard of Rosa Parks. So that episode was very interesting for me. If they had to put that modern pop song at the end, that ruined it, that did.
At the beginning.
Yes.
When that came on, I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Doctor Who to me.
Yeah. The only music I want to hear is score, or if you're going to do a song, do it for plot reasons. Don't just do it to modernize Doctor Who.
You know, just randomly throw in there, leaving the viewers going, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, because I was feeling like that, and I'm trying to escape this modern pop music because I'm fed up. I'm fed up of it.
Yeah, modern pop music is just littered with swear words as well. It's disgusting, put it bluntly. Especially little ears.
Definitely for my ears. Right, so yeah, let's do a preview of this episode. So we do get of course the usual, so the Doctor, Graham O'Brien, so Jodie Whittaker, Bradley Walsh, Tosin Cole, and Manjit Gill. And we have quite a long guest cast. So we have Lena Dehingra. I don't know how you pronounce that. We have Anita Surman, who I think that name sounds very familiar to me.
That does actually sound familiar. Maybe they were not here before.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Shane Zaza, Hamza Jitura, Shanin Khan, Shobna Galati, who played Nadia, who is Yaz's mother. She is back for this episode. Hakim Ravinjay Ganstra, Sonia Baihanvshapama. Oh my god, Doctor, why do you have to get all these names that you can't pronounce?
Oh dear, I'm not even going to try.
Voice of Kissar, Emma Fielding. Performance of Kissar, Natalie Kearnshaw. Voice of Almac, Isabel Middleton. Performance of Almac, Barbara Fadden. There we go. There's at least a few names I can pronounce. And yes! Chip Norris deciding to take a back seat, and it's Vinny Patel who's writing. Oh, thank God. Yes, finally. We don't want to see you until the series finale. Obviously, in Doctor Who, if you're showrunner, you have to write the opening episode, and you have to write the series finale, and you have to write the episodes in the middle. But you certainly don't write 5 on the bounce.
No, come on, mate. You know he's going to be back next week.
Oh, he better not be. In fact, I'll just check in advance. No. Oh, good. He's not writing that episode, which is kablam. So yeah, and yeah, I really don't know. It's
Witchfinders. I think that's what it said in the magazine, anyway.
Oh well, maybe they just changed it. And it's on. It's on at the time of 7 o'clock to make room for the David Attenborough documentary, which I did go into rant. I will say this: I know a lot of people are fans of David Attenborough, and of course he's a legend. He's been doing all these wildlife and nature programs for lots of years, and it's amazing the energy he's still got. But Doctor Who should not be pushed by this. Both should be important. And again, it does concern me that the BBC don't think of it as important.
Yeah, well, what's concerning me on the matter is, I think pretty sure it was season 10. I get season 10, season 9 mixed up sometimes.
Yeah.
The timings of it was like a yo-yo.
Yes, because yeah, because the timings for series 10, because it was slotted along with Strictly Come Dancing, which just I almost nearly lost my head, because Strictly is a jewel in the crown of the BBC. It's very successful. It gets lots of ratings. I understand that, but you shouldn't push Doctor around for it. Not one or the other shouldn't be important. They should both be important to the BBC.
Yeah, they both need recognition.
Yes, it shouldn't be Strictly more than Doctor Who, or Doctor Who more than Strictly. Both should get the importance, and both should have got that prime time Saturday slot. Both should have.
Yeah, the BBC, they need to sort out their priorities, in whereabouts things need to be, instead of just basically mucking about.
Yeah, and
loses fans. It stops them being interested in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what happened in the classic series, because people at the top of the BBC hated science fiction and hated Doctor Who. They were trying to kill it off. They were moving it around against Coronation Street, which still, if you schedule Doctor Who against Coronation Street, it would kill it. It would. Because Coronation Street gets a lot of fans, and lots of people love soaps, and they watch them around the world. And so, yeah, well, I'm hoping BBC keep it on this time, but if you move it other weeks, then I'm seriously going to lose my head. I am.
Yeah, the real pet peeve of man it's turned into. It's just, I mean, people don't admit it, but like I said before, it's what loses fans, and they blame like the show itself and things, what's on the show, like the female doctor and the PC bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the truth of it is the time.
It's the bosses of the BBC. It's the people who schedule it up there. Yeah, so obviously I would so just fingers crossed that they don't play it like it's their own game, moving it around time, because that will drive fans mad. It will kill the show. It will be like 1989 all over again. Yeah, there is rumors that the show could be rested for next year while they film Series 11, Series 12.
New episodes until 2020.
Yeah, and
I'm not willing to lose my show just because the BBC don't know what they're doing.
No. And I understand not everybody in the top of the BBC may not like science fiction, may not like Doctor Who, but they don't want to make the mistakes of Michael Grades. Is just because they don't like it doesn't mean other people share the same view, and they have to make sure they don't make that mistake. And we have to make sure that the people at the BBC don't get too much power over this and don't try to mess us around with it.
I mean, there are petitions actually out there to sort it out, but that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's not Chibnall and his staff. It's not their fault. They write the episodes. They obviously direct and they film the episodes. It's not the cast. It's not Chibnall. It's the people who schedule it at the BBC. It's them who always get us into this mess. And yeah, they really have to sort this out, because I'm going to lose complete interest in there if they're shifting it around like a sport, basically. So I don't mind it being shifted around 1 week if there's a really special occasion, like say there was another royal wedding or something. It's understandable.
An actual reason.
Yes, but just if you're moving it around just to accommodate the other programs, then that will really get on my nerves, and I'm sure the other fans do too. Doctor Who is one of the strongest fan bases, so the BBC really do need to be careful, because it is a strong fan base. There's not only in this country, all over the world are watching it. It's more powerful than the classic series, because really it just ran in the UK and America, but now it's properly all over the world, so they really have got to be careful and very tread carefully.
They don't seem to appreciate what they're doing. Okay?
Yes, yeah. Or you get the feeling that that's happening, but I honestly don't know. And obviously, because I was thinking, Sunday nights, it would be away from Strictly Who, even though it still angered me that the BBC thought that was obviously more important than Doctor Who. I thought it'd be, well, at least it's not going to get moved around. And this is exactly what I'm fearing is going to happen yet again. So
the change on Sunday was actually a really clever idea, because on Saturday night it did really annoy me.
It got too cluttered, didn't it?
Well, it got too cluttered, but I was going to say, like, people do things on Saturday night, go to a party, if they go to parties, they have night out.
They do, yeah.
Sundays more like the quiet days where the kids have to get ready for school and whatnot, so obviously they're more quiet down. And,
Exactly.
Who is.
Yeah.
You've got to keep that thought in mind to like the people who hate that big dinosaur. I'm just saying that for the record.
Yeah, definitely. So Jennifer Perrott, who directed the last episode, I think she did a pretty good job. I think she did a good job of directing it, and and the director for Demons of the Punjab is let me just see if I can find his.
My phone's going off, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Right, just see. Right. Right. I'm just finding it to see who the director is of Sunday's episode.
That's fine. I'm just trying to see who's texting me.
Oh, okay. So it's written by Vinny Patel, as I said. Yeah, thank God Chibnall can sit down and have a rest and a drink.
And then maybe when he comes back, he has like a fresh head, more ideas, so he's not ripping off other episodes.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm interested what the series finale is gonna be like, because especially if there's no series arc, it really is going to be interesting. Right. Okay.
What was it? The Timeless Child. That's it. So my mind went blank. Where they've only said it that one episode, and I was like, they shouldn't lie about not having a story arc, because that did sound like a story arc, but they've not mentioned it again. Like,
yeah, so we'll see. Unless he pulls something truly out the bag. If he introduces, like, what's the Timeless Child, that was introduced that was briefly mentioned in the Ghost Monument. So we'll see, won't we?
People are coming up with theories. I mean, I've got my own, and I think if this opportunity if he doesn't explore that further, because why would he just do like a throwaway line like that? It makes no sense.
Yeah. And I do think the finale is gonna feel plain. It is. I just have that feeling with no running series arc, it's gonna lack really something, and it's gonna be really plain and not gonna feel like a really epic, series finale. I mean, I'll admit it, Doctor Who has never quite, usually in finales, it's never quite felt epic. The closest I've liked is the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. But I've never felt like there's been a particularly really, really good finale.
I personally like Bad Wolf. I think it's played because of the that was my first series, and I feel like that didn't have a special place in my heart. And I assume it does for the other fans who actually grew up with the show back then, like I did. And yeah, it depends on like perception and what everyone thinks that.
Yeah,
like this thing, if he doesn't explore it further, it's no offense to write or anything, so I don't want to sound nasty or anything, but it's gonna fall flat on its face, and yeah, I'm trying to say it in a nice way, but it's not coming out nice.
Oh yeah, okay. So so Jennifer Perrott is also directing Kablam, and Jamie Childs, who directed the Firth, for The Woman Who Fell to Earth, who directed that. He's back directing for that. And yep. So for that and episode 10, they're directed by Jamie Charles. So yep. So he's back directing it again.
Well, it's good to have like a familiar, so to speak.
Yes, definitely. If there's one Doctor Who director I wanted to return, it's not just because Eccleston's asked him if he come back, that he'll come back. It's Joe Ahern. Now, Joe directed The Parting of the Ways, Bad Wolf, I think Father's Day, I think as well. Pardon?
I couldn't tell you on that at all.
No, that's all right. Oh, right. So he directed. Let's see. Let's go on to series 1 and see. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Series 1. Here we go. Right. So, okay. So, Joe Ahern directed. Oh, he directed Dalek. He directed Boomtown, Bad Wolf, and The Parting of the Ways. Well, Bad Wolf and The Parting of the Ways is definitely good. They're really good episodes. But
directing the new episode we're going to have on Sunday, if that is then that was with. Then I'm really looking forward to it even more now because I love them episodes.
No, Joe is not coming back. I'm just saying I would like him to come back. And Eccleston also said that if he does the 100th, if Ahern comes back, then he'll come back as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any of the original cast members because Chibnall, when he took it over, he like completely renovated it. It was something that annoyed me as well.
Yeah, well, Ahern hasn't even directed since series 1, so
yeah.
So he's a lot.
I'm just saying that in general, like I don't think we'll see any people we've seen before.
Yeah, and he's definitely a director that Eccleston's actually worked with quite a bit, so that's explained why he really likes his work. So yeah, if we could get Ahern and Eccleston back, then that'd be great. What? Pardon?
Eccleston's definitely not coming back.
Well, he's sort of mellowed over the next few years, so
mellowed, but yeah, I mean the whole point of it was like how when the people of Doctor Who treated him, and
yes, but he definitely, if he did it, he would do it for the fans, I think, because he showed he does do it for the fans. He has no problem with the fans. Yeah, he even did a convention. So look, if Ahern comes back, then if it's a multi-Doctor story, and if Ahern comes back, then maybe he would come back. Well, never say never. That's what I learned, really. So we'll see. But yeah, and talking of Eccleston, I was talking to Ben when we finished the stream, and what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to write a script of how I thought the 50th episode should be. So basically, it's going to be like an alternate view on how I think the 50th should have been. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through my script and just tell you that the general what I think should have happened. You know, who the directors should have been, and what happened. So yeah, and Ben was very interested in that idea. So watch this space. Maybe next year when we haven't got any episodes to review, that me and him could maybe be doing that. So watch this space. So now I wanted to talk about Chloe. You've obviously got some ideas and predictions for the rest of the series. So what are your ideas, predictions, and hopes for the rest of the series?
Well, I just hope that they continue what they're doing with Jodie, like making her all like lovable as she is and like quirky in her own way.
Yeah.
But the way how she like is being thrown back into, I'm a bit about that. She won't be adopted now. It's like a bit painful. So yes, I'm hoping that. I am hoping that the companions that we got currently stay on for longer, as they have been said, as it's only a rumour, but they've been said that they're leaving soon. And yeah, that was really disappointing because I think they could do much more with like trying to distract you. Because as I've got distracted myself, I think they could do more with what.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, because it's sort of been forgotten about, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean there are some forward bit sorry guys, forward lines to still tell you that yeah he has got this condition, but it's not like.
But don't let it dominate it, basically.
Yeah, like they did with Bill and her. Well, years, because that was like in every episode, and she said it to your face that she's gay in every episode. It's like it doesn't matter if you're gay.
I think it was another ticking of the boxes. I think.
Yeah, that really annoys me, saying the truth, but I won't get into that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Now my prediction is going to be that Graham is going to die in the series finale. I think. Oh, sorry to bring that on you. Yeah. I think the Sun is reporting that Bradley Walsh is working on a new chat show for ITV, and also with him quite busy doing The Chase as well, because it's really been quite busy. I do think that Bradley will only do one series, and this also ties into the fact that Graham actually revealed in The Woman Who Fell to Earth that he wished he'd had more time with Grace because he was suffering with cancer. So I think the series finale is actually going to end on a very bleak note.
I've not really watched that episode that much because it reminded me too much of the Sarah Jane Adventures episode. I'm not saying it's a bad episode, but I did actually enjoy it.
Which episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures?
Just in general, just how it was written and how it played out, and that. It to me didn't feel like Doctor Who. It felt like Sarah Jane Adventures, but
did it?
It did to me, but.
Oh right.
I won't get, I mean.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. So my prediction is that Graham will die in the series finale, and yeah, it will end on a bleak note. It will, which is why I think the special will lighten things up a bit.
Yeah, I think they fixed that though in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, because I think they said that the cured is the wrong word, but cured it. I mean, they stopped it before they did any the wrong word, but
well, it said he was going through chemotherapy, but that doesn't necessarily cure the.
Yeah, it will come back with a vengeance, but yeah.
So yeah, I think you're going to be needing your tissues in the series finale. Yeah.
I already need my tissues for the MCU. Trust me on
that. And I predict that Graham's last words to Ryan will finally call him Granddad, and then and then we get this heartwarming moment, and then he passes away. Then we see this scene when him and Grace sort of like in the imagining between life and death, I suppose. We get this scene with Grace and Graham you know, back together again. Sort of like in Once Upon a Time when Robert Weaver / Rumpelstiltskin / Mr. Gold. Goodness me, all those names. I hope his bills. Although, of course, Gold didn't have to pay all those bills, but well, anyway, his character. If you have watched Once Upon a Time, if you haven't, spoilers. Weaver, who is Rumpelstiltskin / Mr. Gold, Robert Carlyle, gives his heart to Rogers, Colin O'Donoghue, who is suffering from the curse of the poisoned heart. So Weaver gives his heart to Rogers to destroy his other self. Yes, there's a version of him like he was in the past, but in this realm called the Wish Realm. So he puts his heart into Rogers, destroying the other Rumpelstiltskin, and Weaver dies. Then we see this scene when he reunites with his wife, Belle. Yes, that Belle from Beauty and the Beast, played by Emily de Ravenel, Emile de Ravenel. Oh, I don't know how you pronounce their name. But anyway, they find each other again, and they kiss, and then, yeah. So I think we'll get a similar scene to that, and with Graham and Grace, and then yeah.
One isn't exactly straightforward. It's exactly like Doctor Who, isn't it?
What, Once Upon a Time?
No, it's not straightforward. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah. Yes, it definitely. Yeah, Moffat could have written that because.
The writers even had a bit of a joke about themselves in the last episode because when the author.
Oh yes, because a bit. Yes, because yes, that was very funny. That was when the other version of the author. By the way, if you do like fantasy, dark, and reimaginings of fairy tales, then Once Upon a Time really is the show for you. It's quite impressive how they get because Robert Carlyle has been an actor for quite a few decades before Once Upon a Time. He was in The Full Monty. He's in the new version of War of the Worlds, which is yet to air on the BBC. Pardon? Yes, because they thought.
I think that's great and epic that they actually managed to get him.
Yeah.
They wanted him.
Yeah, because they didn't think he would have set, but he did, and yeah, and he gave us some great performances as Mr. Gold / Weaver / Rumpelstiltskin. We'll go back to Doctor in a minute, but I do prefer Mr. Gold without all his makeup, I think.
I don't know why. I just like any character he plays because it is just my favorite character of all time, and I'd love to meet him on my comic cons that I go to.
Yeah, does he do conventions, Mr. Carlyle?
He used to, but he said in an interview recently that he's not going to do them unless they want him. But it would not surprise me if it came to Enchanted because Colin O'Donoghue, Josh Dallas, and Goodwin, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's just been out for Enchanted. So I am on the side note, I'm extremely excited about that. And yeah, it would not surprise me if Sean Harvey just wanted his name online. So thank you to Sean Harvey for getting them.
Yeah.
To get them at his event.
Yeah. Back to our predictions. I know this is quite very far in the future. I'm loving Jodie, but I actually think that Pilot's Heart will come back again because technically the Doctor is a pilot. You know, she has a ship, and I think that will cause her to regenerate. Are you okay with me going into that, Chloe, a bit?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I actually I kind of agree with you because it would be interesting to like further develop something like this. Further, explain it because it was just like a throwaway thing. That's how it felt.
Yeah, I predict that is very subtle but very clever storytelling on how Jodie's Doctor will die. Yeah. Of course, it could not be, but that is my prediction. And you know, it'd be nice for the Doctor to die from a normal, natural thing, because it's just been the same. It's like a wheel, sort of radiation poisoning, old age, poisoning again, falling off a telescope, a radio telescope. But of course, you can't fall off an actual telescope because it wouldn't be really big enough for you to fall off. Anyway. Oh God. Right. So yeah. So I think it'd be nice for the Doctor to just die from a disease that is just normal and in everyday life. Obviously, she does have two hearts, so that would really complicate the thing of heart failure. Do you have any idea how they could do that, given that she had two hearts?
I don't have any idea, like on that note, because I never really thought about that kind of thing. The way how I think about regeneration is that I always want to have the Doctor being the hero, he/she in the confusion.
No, because I think we've had too many of those sacrifices, and I think we need a very sudden, like obviously heart attacks are not great, but if you have a character suffer a fatal heart attack, it can really shock, it can really pull the viewer in, whether if they're sacrificing, you know it's going to happen. I think I'd like to have a shock, really. Something that feels so raw, if you know what I mean. Like going back to Once Upon a Time, there's this episode, spoilers, called Heart of Gold, when Mr. Gold leaves, is banished from Storybrooke and goes to his son Neil Belfire's apartment, and he collapses because the spell that was protecting him, because of all the dark deeds he had in his heart, he collapsed, he did, and almost died. You still there, Chloe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just checking that your signal didn't go, or...
Oh, no, I was making sure my back was all right.
Oh, okay.
No,
I could just imagine that quote in the word, I'm making sure my rat is okay, Chloe Hickson, 2018.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I would really like, that's how I want Jodie's Doctor to go. I want her to suffer from, oh God, that sounded really dark. I want you to suffer. Oh my God. I'm sounding like a complete maniac, a madman. Right. What I'm saying is I want the Doctor to die from a normal thing and a really shocking thing that you can't see it's coming.
Yeah, that'll be if I want to. Oh God, what episode am I? Oh God, I can't think of the title.
Is it the Power of Three with the cubes and the Doctor's heart stops?
Still on Earth. That's it. Sorry, my mind went. Tell me then. Sorry. You know when like Dark just comes out of nowhere and villains is really special.
Oh yes, yeah. No one saw that coming. Yes, I remember that moment in 2008 because I'd already heard in the car at Blackpool that David Tennant was leaving, and it said he was going to go at Christmas, but then that really got the press talking, and thinking that the Doctor was really going to change, whether they pulled a surprise out the bag, but no, it ended up. He ended up, of course, surviving, and the meta thingy Doctor. Meta Crisis Doctor, that's it. Yeah. It just escaped me.
You just do the Chloe.
So yeah, so I think we've had far too much of those sacrifices. I want something that will really, really shock and feel raw. Yeah.
I don't know about Fate Generation with Capaldi as well. I can't remember the last minute the style because I don't really like the Monk trilogy. I like the first episode, but the Monk trilogy sort of falls flat. But anyway, when Bill shoots him and he just starts regenerating, it's like, oh my goodness, it's Capaldi leaving? Because it really.
Oh no, I didn't believe it because the way he just fell, he didn't even fall gracefully, as a person should when they, oh my god, when they die. God, this is getting into quite dark territory now. Don't worry, I am perfectly okay. Yeah, but what he's basically doing is just, it's basically doing, when Bill shot him, it's like, he didn't fall very realistically. So I knew that his death was fake. Yeah. And
but I think what did it for me was because it's my favorite Doctor. I think it was sort of like the fear of, oh my god, is he leaving? Sort of took off my brain, so to speak. I think that's sort of what happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
With David Tennant, I mean, he was my favorite at the time, but it was more of a shock factor. But with Big Houses, it was, oh my god, I don't want this to happen.
It's because you grow attached to the Doctor, isn't it? Like, I bet people in 1981, they really loved Tom Baker, so of course they didn't want him to go.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to explain it like on super live, but Pete Cloudy's Doctor and me, we've got like a very similar thing going on, and I could just relate to him and just being parted from him.
Yeah, definitely.
Very distressing. And like I said before, that's another reason why I was shocked that I took to Jordan so quickly.
Yeah.
But it was something in itself that I took to her.
Although, to be honest, when Moffat announced he was leaving, I could see that probably Capaldi was going. I couldn't see him staying on.
Yeah, I wanted to go on forever. It was so awkward.
I would have liked him to stay for Series 11 because I felt he was just getting good in Series 10 and then leave after Series 11. I definitely wouldn't want him to go on like Tom Baker. Like 8 years, that's too much, I think, for a Doctor.
I agree that is a bit, yeah, but yeah, no disrespect to Tom or anything.
He's a great Doctor. He's a legend. He is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No disrespect to Tom with what we're saying.
He's the Doctor. People say David Tennant for the new Doctor, for the classic Doctor. The people they remember mostly is John Pertwee and Tom Baker.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why my favorite classic Doctor is John Pertwee, because of Capaldi.
Yes, because they're very similar, aren't they? Especially when the Venetian Ricardo. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Yeah, there we go. Especially because they've both done that, and with Capaldi having the lining in his Crombie coat and Pertwee having the red lining in his cape. So, and because they were similar in personalities, and Capaldi himself was a fan of the classic series. Like, he'd seen Hartnell and Troughton and Pertwee and Baker. He'd seen all of the classic Doctors, so I think he wanted to, have nods to the classic Doctors, even more so than the other ones, obviously, because they're younger.
I know, it's not that.
Oh, okay.
I can't really agree well, fond is the wrong word, but bonded with him because apart from the physical thing of it, with how I connect with him, which I won't go into because obviously it's personal.
Yeah, obviously.
I'll obviously tell you, but while we're live, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
With that and that, I just loved Pertwee as soon as I saw him, and it was like an instant sort of love thing.
Yeah. Well, given that we weren't actually born when Pertwee was on, it doesn't really feel the same, does it? Really?
No, but yeah, you sort of doing what you. Yeah, just excuse me for 1 minute. I've got a cat on me.
Okay. Another quote of 2018. Excuse me, I have a cat on me. Chloe Hickson. Yeah, I'm just imagining that the writing. Yeah, the last week's nearly rolling on the floor. This week, animals. Oh, I don't know. Let's just get this week's done first. Oh, goodness me. I'll have to give Ben a link to this. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. And if you are watching, Ben, if you are watching when the stream is finished, if you are watching in the future, because technically it is the future if you're not watching now, then hello to you. Oh my God, that was so cringy. Never mind. Yeah, so I think that as I said, I think Graham will die at the end of the series, and I think it is going to be quite a plain series tonight, but it's going to be bleak. It is. Yeah, it's going to be quite grim, I think, and it's going to be hard to watch for some people. But of course, I could be wrong. This is just a prediction and speculation, so. Chibnall could really surprise us, but
yeah, no, I won't hold my breath. I do not mean that offensively.
What?
I said I won't hold my breath. I don't mean that offensively.
I don't get you.
Chibnall can surprise
us. There was just silence there, as I was just trying to process it in my brain.
I'm trying to say that you were set. Hang on. Sorry for the viewers who want my explanation here. What I'll just say. You said about that Chibnall could surprise us, and I was just saying that I wouldn't hold my breath when him surprising us because of the thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, technically, some of the pating was Tim Price. It was particularly.
That's the design of it, but I mean the thing fighting. You like the fighting.
No, because he was in the writers' room. He wrote. He was still one of the writers in that episode, a teeny bit.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Tim, I've seen his credits and his work and on IMDb, and I'm hopefully, if he does write for the show next year, then I'm really hoping that be interesting to see what he could come up with as Tim Price. That's a name that really that's going to be quite interesting to see if Chibnall could get him to write a full episode.
Yeah, and it's like, have you seen the thing that Chibnall wants J.K. to write an episode?
Wants who?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling?
Yeah.
I remember the Russell T Davies did that. His first idea for the 2008 Christmas special was a parody when the Doctor and J.K. Rowling were meant to be fighting witches, but David Tennant, who of course was in one of the Harry Potter films, it's the Order of the Phoenix. No, it's not that one. Goblet of Fire, that's it. No, it's not that one. Or is it that one? No. Oh, yes. So, oh, God. So, yeah, I haven't watched Harry Potter in a long time, so I'm just trying to, yeah. So, yes. So, that's the only thing I remember about J.K. Rowling and Doctor Who ever coming in context, but I'm not sure.
No, it's a new thing because he wanted her, but now Kimmel actually wants her as well.
Ah, yes, but J.K. Rowling wasn't actually going to write that Christmas special. She was going to be in it with David Tennant as the 10th Doctor.
Yeah, I think it's a bit, I don't know. It's something I've come across on Facebook. Me and Facebook again, I got this on.
Well, who knows?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, who knows? And apparently, Doctor Who was on today at at 3 in the morning, I think. Well, I'm not exactly sure, but look, it doesn't say 15:05. It says 3:05, which means it must have been 3:05 in the morning on BBC Two. So wow, that's an odd time to put Doctor Who on in that time of the morning. But yeah, who knows? Obviously. So we're here for a few minutes. We're here until 9:30, and then once again, this review it'll be the end of another review, and then yeah, of course, we'll be back next week with another review, which is the Demons of the Punjab we'll be reviewing. So yeah, definitely. So have you enjoyed tonight, Chloe?
Yeah, for my first one, I have actually.
Yeah, and it's been great having you doing the stream as well, because I think what I do like doing streams on my own, but also with my mates. It makes it just a little bit more fun. It does, and it gives you a sort of dynamic. It does, and different range of views, and if you know what I mean. So yeah, thank you, Chloe. You've been great for your first one.
No worries at all.
Pardon?
No worries at all.
Oh right, okay. It's just there's a long pause, so it's like, what's happening? Yeah. And what have you thought of on YouTube, instead of the fan show, there's the Doctor Who access or areas?
Oh, I've not actually seen anything on YouTube or anything like that, to tell you the truth.
Okay, it's basically, it's like Doctor Who Extra and Confidential, but it's shorter and it's only released on the internet, and it's presented by Yinka Bonini, who I don't really know who she is, but she, to be honest, she's a bit bland. She does, and she never seems to go on set meeting or talking to the actors. She just seems to. I think she must film her segments and then send them to the BBC so they can edit them. So, yeah, she does seem quite bland. But one of the runners, called Lauren Pate, who actually had a cameo in the story Oxygen, I wouldn't have known it, but she seems quite bubbly, and she really does have a good on-camera presence.
I'll have to give it a go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I'll send you a link to access all areas, and yeah, you can tell me what you think. obviously, I think the fan show, Crystal D, who's a YouTuber, and Luke Spillane, or Spillane, or oh yeah,
just carry on.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I think they were really good. Crystal she's very good on camera. She's got a good personality, and she actually talks to the people. But Yinka Benini, she just comes across as very dull, very bland. So yeah, doesn't have quite the bubbliness and energy that you need really to be a presenter, really. So, but it's good to see that that they're doing behind the scenes content.
What goes into making it?
Yeah, obviously it's not in depth as Confidential. Like, you only see a few clips, and they make it just quite like fun. So they were saying that they like doing dancing and this thing, like, to work on Doctor Who, you've got to have a beard. I was like, what the fudge? But yeah, so it's mainly fun stuff. But there's some good content on it anyway. Yeah, but of course I do miss watching Confidential, because that was really good Confidential. You know, it really gave us a very in-depth making into Doctor Who, and I feel that
I really enjoyed after the show. It was just watching it and getting to know the episode like more intimately. Is the wrong word? Yeah, you know what I'm trying
yeah. I get what you mean. I think they should have brought back Confidential, just especially as a one-off for the 50th anniversary, really. If that was the episode to have a Confidential on, they should have. In fact, maybe just do maybe bring back Confidential, but just for the specials, because they are some of the most, you know, challenging episodes to make, obviously, you know, because the visual effects and the slightly larger budget, I think. So yeah, so as I said earlier, it's Demons of the Punjab. That's the next episode, and that is on at the time of 7 o'clock, and then it's Kablam at 6:30. Moved about again. Oh, BBC.
I know, it really annoys me.
Well, we'll see if I have any strength left. Yeah. And in that episode, we have comedian Lee Mack in the guest cast, who he's funny. Julie Hesman, who has been in a few soaps. Pardon? And the rest of the cast I haven't heard of. And Jennifer Perrott is once again on directorial duties, and Pete McTime is on writing duties. So yeah, it should be. And actually, maybe Kerblam could actually be part of the Stenza, because voice of Kerblam, I think that could be maybe another of the Stenza.
Yeah, it is a bit of a wacky name, so if it's not an alien, I really want to know what it is.
Yeah. Or it could be Kablam. Yeah, the TARDIS went Kablam. Oh God. Yeah, I'm hoping it is actually an alien. I'm hoping it's not just some stupid phrase that they use, because that would annoy me.
80s like comic sort of.
Yeah, it's got that sitcom name, hasn't it, too? All right, guys, thank you for watching. Chloe, thank you for joining me. It's been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
Right.
Yeah, it's been really good. And yeah, so just before we go, we'll be back with the streams, I think maybe on next Friday, maybe. Well, I don't know. Time to be confirmed, obviously. and it'll be Children in Need nights. That will next Friday. And in fact, there's going to be some Doctor-related content on Children in Need. Sadly, it's not a preview of a special or a mini episode. It's a girl being surprised by the cast, which they could just put onto YouTube. God, the BBC is going downhill. And that's, folks, that's how your license fee money is being paid to. But I'm not going to go on a rant about that. So, perfect time to end there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you want to, of course, to the Line and Bun YouTube channel. And, yeah, we'll see you on Friday maybe, or whenever. Bye.